to be bringing
We're all rolling here on the desk.
Oh my god, this is great, and we are going to see Plot Twist bringing this composition with a Warlock and a Demon Hunter. Get these gates open!
I mean, ironically, the first time Sid was right today, and he's not even on the desk to celebrate it. Gorecki will be playing that Discipline Priest with Jamili and Roasties, the Rogue Mage Priest special coming out of Noble Esports. Plot Twist, though, running, of course, a very devastating composition. Cheerios on that Demon Hunter will provide a ton of damage. You can already see it coming in as the Chaos Portals from Aqua. He's got his offensive cooldowns up, but a beautiful triple fair to deny some of that offensive pressure.
Yeah, Gorecki already trading out that human racial. Jamili still taking quite a bit of burst. Chaos Nova was used there by Cheerio, so able to get some of those defensives. Garrote over on a Juice, and it looks like Noble's really just focused on keeping the pressure onto this Holy Pally in this matchup. Cheerio's going to be getting into that metamorphosis, putting out big pressure over onto Roasties, and it seems like their strategy is Cheerio just goes on whoever basically he can, and Aquafina is going to be creating as much pressure as possible on that Destro Warlock.
I mean, Cheerios and Juice are doing a great job together. They're trying to line of sight Gorecki as much as possible and punish those for tunneling him, because Noble's strategy thus far has been to attack that Holy Paladin as much as possible, but Roasty's struggling a little bit to connect. He needs to stay in line of sight, get those heals out from Gorecki. Now looking to reconnect. We see the blind onto Aqua, trinketed immediately, wants to peel out, gets the fears defensively. It's a counterspell over onto the Chaos Ball, so nothing doing as they get another full kidney shot into Juice.
Yeah, full kidney. Can Jamili connect any damage? He's getting spammed out. Those spears coming in from Aqua are very, very key. Triple Chaos Nova going to be coming in. Jamili trinkets out of that. Spam out some of those polymorphs to control some of this damage that Cheerio is going to be throwing out. Noble is kind of stabilized in this position. Vendetta's going to be coming up in 10 seconds. That's going to be an opportunity for them to get some sort of defensive cooldowns from Juice, but you can see Juice hasn't really used too much. Still has both of his trinkets, Bubble Bob, everything available to him. Plot Twist is looking good in these exchanges.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job so far. I mean, that's one of the risks when you leave a Destruction Warlock free. They have to have the counterspell, otherwise he's just going to... There we do see the counterspell in the fist. They're trying to get some counter pressure here onto Juice, but he's able to cast those Fire Schools. Juice dropping so low! Uses the Divine Shield, that immunity.
MD!
Oh, it's the kick!
MD into a kick! Juice barely surviving by that darkness, but ultimately going to get taken down. Very greedy plays coming in from Juice. He ultimately thought that gateway would be enough, but...
Jamili, beautiful match, but look at that snipe from Gorecki right there, pre-casting that, and then immediate pre-kick from Roasty's darkness. Gonna be a little bit too late. Absorbs an pommel.
Use them, you know, a little bit more preemptive. They can definitely take Noble down. They had solid pressure last game.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly really like the last game from Plot Twist. They've got a bigger map now as well, so I don't think they need to change too much. Aqua can always be in line of sight of Juice, just get those peels out with the Death Coils, with the Fears. That's really what they're looking for, but of course, like Zico said, Jamili's main strategy is to wait until that counterspell is available to deny that crowd control before they go offensive on Juice.
Oh, beautiful play by Jamili. Charges in, puts a lot of pressure on Juice early. He actually interrupted Aqua's gateway there, so not going to be able to have that additional mobility for his healer, and unfortunately, Juice is going to have to bubble in the opener because of that.
Yeah, it was a really good opener from Noble. It came out the gates flying, forced that huge defensive cooldown. 4 minutes on that one from Juice. He's playing the Repentance specialization, so looking to get some crowd control here. Maybe if he can pull Roasties behind the pillar, there's some opportunities for some Hammer of Justice into those Repentances, but we see once again, full kidney shot coming out, fair crowd control, covered onto Aqua, so he cannot peel. Juice, though, not taking too much damage, no offensive cooldowns ready to commit here, as he should just be able to walk away from this one fine.
Yeah, has that freedom. Jamili actually spell steals it off, and now Juice caught into the middle of the map. Roasty's able to reconnect. Freedom again gets dispelled. Nice coil coming in from Aqua, but he gets interrupted on that. Jamili's been doing a great job in this matchup, controlling him up, making sure he's not getting out those key peels and offensive pressure that they really need. Kidney shot over onto Juice. He trinkets out, trying to fake cast some of these interrupts. Wing's going to be committed. Holy light. Big heals going to connect. Roasty's going to back off for now as he realizes that kill window has been lost.
Yeah, they forced the cooldowns they wanted there. They got the human racial out of Juice. They got the Avenging Wrath. They're just happy to back off here. Sit defensive. Of course, Gorecki caught up into that full Repentance right now. They do need to be a little bit careful. Jamili dropping low. They're looking for the Hammer of Justice to follow this up. Do they have any follow-up damage? Doesn't look like it. Jamili able to kite away that Arcane Mage. Roasty's dropping low. Gets a big shield, though, from his healer. Should be able to stabilize for now. They need to get aggressive, though. Juice far away on the other side of the map. They've got to find a way of crossing over to him and getting offensive with that kidney shot.
Yeah, Plot Twist's main objective is to make sure that he is dragging, pardon me, this Paladin is dragging these DPS through Aqua so we can get those Chaos Bolts off and really punish Roasties and Jamili in this matchup. Arcane Power is going to be committed by Jamili's. It looks like they're trying to put some pressure over on the Cheerios. Maybe a little bit of wasted damage there. I think Cheerios is going to be completely fine in this situation. Juice actually landing a nice Repentance there. Jamili's going to have to run away, try to survive a little bit longer, but big burst coming in, and that is going to be an ice block. That is a key moment as Plot Twist has forced that key defensive cooldown.
Yeah, this is a strategy we see in North America quite often. The Holy Paladin combined with the Destruction connection, Warlock. There's only so many spells you can interrupt. Repentance is a deadly crowd control. We see Chaos Bolts coming out now. Pain Suppression to answer from Gorecki, keeping Jamili alive, but definitely dangerous times. They're trying to get aggressive onto Juice. He's caught up behind the pillar, but Jamili unable to connect thus far. Can they get the damage? He actually walks straight into Jamili. Dangerous play from Juice. The darkness to answer that should be able to keep him alive, but he's definitely playing it on the edge.
Yeah, trying to keep himself alive. Fake casting some of those interrupts coming in from Roasties. Roasties doing an excellent job keeping that pressure onto Juice in this matchup. See Aqua now looking for some fears. Nice Shadow Step kick coming in from Roasties, but now no interrupt going to be available for Juice. He's still trying to fake. I think he actually faked the Blink CS there from Jamili, and now he's going to gate away, get on that Divine Steed and be completely safe behind this pillar as he gets some Holy Lights off. But Roasties reconnects Fear over onto Cheerios. This is nicely done by Noble. They're looking good in terms of defensive. Gorecki, unfortunately, doesn't have that Pain Suppression. Jamili doesn't have an Ice Block, so Aqua can definitely take advantage of that. Full Kidney Shot going to be committed onto Juice as he pops that wall there to survive, but it gets dispelled there quickly by Gorecki. So Juice uses that defensive, but he's going to keep himself alive for now.
Yeah, we actually saw the full Repentance once again over onto Gorecki. Defensive blind on Cheerios to answer that one, and the Trinket. So big cooldowns used by Noble there. They really need to get this kill soon because they do not have much left. Jamili still low on health. It's really hard for Gorecki to stabilize him in the middle of the map. Aqua now connecting with the Chaos Bolt. Preemptive spell reflect from Jamili, though he stole that from Aqua, so he was able to reflect the Chaos Bolt. He might have died there if not for that. Juice behind the pillar now, trying to solo Roasties. No Trinket on that one. He's able, Gorecki, to push in, get that dispel, but definitely dangerous times. Plot Twist using this map really well to keep Juice alive.
Yeah, Kidney Shot onto Juice. A big pressure coming in from Roasties and Jamili. Nice reflect there from Aqua to get that polymorph, but Juice is getting lower and lower. Can Gorecki find the Master Spell? He's trying to fake cast. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it, and Juice gets behind the pillar. He's going to be safe. Jamili, though, a little bit of trouble over onto him, but Temporal Shield should deflect most of this damage as Chaos Bolts connect. You can see Roasties trying to rebuild all those bleeds and all those poisons onto Juice to keep that pressure up. There's the full Kidney Shot. Aqua still just spamming out the fears. Jamili trying to find some pressure as well, but unfortunately not able to connect those Arcane missiles. Nice Chaos Nova coming in from Cheerios as Jamili gets lower and lower. Some Chaos Bolts coming in from Aqua as well, but Juice just doing everything he can to survive.
I mean, this is going to be a close finish. Juice doesn't have any defensive cooldowns left. He's got that Trinket in 13, but neither does Noble. No Ice Block on Jamili, no Trinket or Pain Suppression on Gorecki. This is going to get close. Juice, he needs to be careful, though. One of the big conditions is for him to stand in line of sight of Aqua. He's just line of sighting his Warlock. No peels coming in, and Roasty's going to solo him. That was such a mistake. He should have just stayed with his Warlock. It'd been working so well for them the entire game. Those defensive peels, the death coils, the fears, but they just weren't able to come out there, and Juice ends up falling to that final vendetta from Roasties.
Ultimately there.
Cooldowns. Whereas if Juice was a Resto Druid, they can't dampen this as RMP, and that would be a much better comp, I think.
Noble looking to close it out here. This is an elimination series. If Noble wins this, Plot Twist gonna be going home.
Yeah, this is going to be a very scary game for Gorecki. Like we saw in the last game, Juice constantly swapping pillars, and that is going to drag Jamili and Gorecki in the open if he is going to be the target of choice. That gives Aqua as well as Piff a huge opportunity to put out that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Piff and Aqua, of course, they're going to be very deadly on this large map. Like Jamili, we were talking about one of the big themes is if Juice can cross the map, make it hard for the Jamili on the Mage to connect. And now with two threats, it's going to be very dangerous for him if he's caught out in the middle. We can see triple stuns coming out already from Plot Twist, showing that they're pretty well apt on this. We see the blind triggered out by Aqua, and they're just trying to play this max range game. You see Juice on the other side of the map already from Jamili, and it's going to be very hard for him to get that connection over onto the Holy Paladin.
Yeah, look at Juice just playing max range. Like you said, there's a good road silence over on a Juice. Roasty looking for that Kidney Shot. Finally, some Arcane missiles going to connect, but now Jamili has to deal with not only the Spell Lock coming in from Aqua, as well as that Earth Shock coming in from Piff. So here comes Ice Fury from Piff as well. Big pressure over onto Roasty with the fear over onto Gorecki as Roasty gets life gripped away. Actually back over onto Juice. Juice still just constantly swapping. Look at Jamili, he's all by himself though. Unfortunately, Aqua and Piff have created sort of this defense here for Juice, and Juice just playing this perfectly on this map, making it so difficult for both Gorecki as well as Jamili to get out any sort of damage.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we should definitely mention as well is now that they've brought in Piff on the Elemental Shaman, they have access to a Purges. We see Roasties dropping low, Trinkets out of that Earthquake, and they, of course, have even more stuns as well with the Elemental. But the Purge means they can purge those displacements from Jamili, meaning he has even less mobility than he did against the previous composition from Plot Twist. And on a bigger map, you can see how that's already causing him big problems, right? Like Roasty's now having to use his trinket as well because he was caught on the other side of the map by himself, uses the Cloak of Shadows there also, so really struggling to connect to Juice. And like Zico was saying, this could be the kind of condition we want to see for dampening, but with that Holy Paladin, it's still going to be an uphill battle for Plot Twist.
Yeah, Roasty's no Cloak of Shadows for 45 seconds. This is very dangerous what he's doing, chasing Juice in this spot. I really think Noble should play it maybe a little bit more patient. Roasty's now getting hodged up. Nice dispel coming in from Gorecki as well as a Fear. Now, finally, some CC coming in from Noble as they get the full kidney shot over onto Juice. Jamili trying to connect some damage, but it gets interrupted, so not going to be too much follow-up. It's going to be Roasty's basically trying to solo down Juice in this situation with that Vendetta, with that Kingsbane, but now full stun over onto Roasty's. He gets bursted down by Piff and Aqua, and anytime Gorecki, he's crossing the map, Aqua's able to get, these fears, hexes coming in from Piff as well, so Jamili has to do such a good job stopping all of those CCs, or it's just going to be so much pressure for Plot Twist.
Yeah, and I was a little bit critical of Juice at the very end of Game 2 for going behind the pillar and allowing Roasties essentially to solo him behind there because his DPS couldn't peel, but none of that this game. He's been playing it very, very well. He's been even tanking a little bit more damage from Jamili so that he can stay in line of sight of his DPS, and that's something that you see as a classic mistake for some low-rated healers when they're not allowing their DPS to help them in these situations. Sometimes that really is the make or break difference between some of these top healers, and it's great to see from Juice.
Yeah, and now you can see Noble actually changing their strategy. They're going to be putting some pressure over onto Juice and not able to get the cooldowns that they need from Juice, so they're just going to CC him, pressure down Piff. They get the Astral Shift, cheap shot over onto Juice. Piff's still in a little bit of trouble, but just casting out the healing surges. There's the full blind over onto Juice. He trinket out of that. If they're able to get that bubble in this situation, this is going to be so big. Blessing of Protection going to be traded out by Juice. Piff should be a-okay in the spot. Jamili still has that arcane power ready and available, but now Noble finally starting to find some pressure and momentum by CCing up Juice, getting that damage on a Piff, but now they're actually turning their attention onto Juice once again.
Yeah, there's something you see against double caster compositions quite often as Juice dropping low. Should have to trade out Divine Shield here. He's being very greedy, using that Holy Shock on low health, able to actually hold on to that massive defensive cooldown, so that's a huge win for him. But I really like what Noble have done. They realized that they were struggling to connect over onto Juice. Now they're swapping up their strategy a little bit, force the Hand of Sacrifice, force the Blessing of Protection by swapping over onto Piff there, and now they have options once again. They did commit their all in there to try to get the Divine Shield on Juice though, so it's very important that he was able to hold on to that cooldown. You can see Arcane power available for Jamili. One more crowd control onto Juice could potentially open up an opening onto the Piff as well.
Yeah, and Roasty's still a very good target. He doesn't have that Cloak of Shadows for 40 seconds. Gorecki now caught into the middle of the map, and his mana is not looking too good. Noble might have to close out this game soon. Piff caught into the kidney shot. Arcane Missile is going to be coming in from Jamili. It's going to get interrupted. Doesn't look like it. The nice Fears coming in from Aqua as he actually gets interrupted on that Chaos Bolt. Now Piff free to just spam out some heals onto himself. Gorecki getting pressured down, and I like what Plot Twist is doing. They need to keep this pressure up on a Gorecki, tax his mana as much as possible, because it's going to be very difficult for him to drink, especially when Aqua has that little annoying Fell Hunter that he can just put behind the pillar and stop him.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of the big themes of this game. It's one thing to get the pressure and put attacks on Gorecki's mana bar. It's another thing to close out the game, and that's what the best Lock Shaman compositions can do. We'll have to see if Plot Twist can do it as well, because of course Gorecki's a fantastic healer. He's going to be constantly pushing for those drinks to get his mana bar back up so he can heal for a longer duration. With the Holy Paladin, dampening's definitely not a guaranteed win condition for Plot Twist either. They're going to have to play this one well, and we can see that they're doing it very well thus far. You see another beautiful Fear from Aqua setting up the Chaos Bots onto Jamili, really taxing Gorecki as much as possible, but they're also pressuring Roasties. They're making sure that he can't get out to do any damage, and of course if Roasties isn't doing damage, you're basically in a 2v1 situation where Juice is just doing whatever he wants. You can see him sitting behind the pillar right now trying to get up his blue bar as we do head into dampening.
Yeah, some damage coming in from Gorecki, but like we kind of talked about, he's not going to be able to get that mana very easily. Full kidney shot over onto Piff, but Juice in a good spot to just heal him up. Blessing of Protection going to be committed onto that Vendetta. That's going to allow Piff to, be completely fine in this situation. Jamili trying to get on top of Juice so he can land some sort of polymorph, some sort of crowd control, but now, unfortunately, he's sort of left alone in this 3v1 situation. You can see maybe he's trying to buy some time for Gorecki to actually sit down and get a drink, but Aqua, he's not going to be falling for it. You can see the Fell Hunter onto Gorecki, not allowing him to drop that combat. Piff now taking aggro, so to speak, running on top of Jamili, getting that pressure onto Roasties as well, and Juice's mana is going to be looking completely fine with around 10% dampening, and Aqua just punishing Gorecki over and over anytime he's trying to cross.
Yep, clinical gameplay thus far from Plot Twist. They have to secure it though. Of course, Greki pushing him once again. He wants to be on top of Juice so they can push him for this go. Here we have it. The blind and the polymorph. Cross crowd control as Piff is the target of choice. But they don't even force the astral shift as they go for the blind. He's able to sit away. He should have that gateway available also if he wants to kite back to his healer at some point. Drops low, trades out the astral shift. But this is a big commitment coming out of Noble. You saw the vanish there from Roasties, the blind. A lot of crowd control tools used. If they can't get the kill here, it's going to be devastating for them. As Piff though dropping low, he does need to be careful. There's a hand of sacrifice available. Juice actually not even using that cooldown yet. Trades out his huge heals instead with the avenging Wrath. He's got to get offensive with those now. In dampening, those healing cooldowns are massive. Those are the things that mitigate that. If he can't get this team stable and offensive here, it's going to be really hard for him as dampening stacks higher and higher.
Jamili actually pulled the trigger on his arcane power, trying to solo down Juice. He may have been able to get, you know, that magic wall out from Juice, but really not accomplishing too much with that arcane power, unfortunately. Maybe just trying to take advantage of the fact that some interrupts were down, needing to get out that pressure. Roasties now has the Vendetta available once again. Breki has potentially run out of time. This map is just working out so well for Plot Twist. Can Noble find the pressure that they need? Blessing and Protection going to be traded out immediately. Nice counterspell coming in from Jamili as well. Can they find the follow-up Polymorph? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Now Aqua just tunneling out those Chaos Bolts over and over on the Plot Twist. And once again, Noble, they have to retreat behind the pillar, try to stabilize just a little bit, but Aqua and Piff are having a field day.
Yeah, they're really having fun. That was the Vendetta there coming out of Roasties as well. So no Arcane Power, no Vendetta, and of course a blue bar that is completely absent from Greki as well, meaning he's doing no healing. He's really struggling. And Aqua and Piff, they've got this pincer movement going in now. They can't line of sight both of them. They're going to be taking damage. Jamili forced into the ice block. This Archangel is the last bastion, the last line for Greki. After that's down, he's going to be doing no healing and dampening. They need to get the kill here and now, but it's just not going to happen. Juice has so many defensive cooldowns, trades out another hand of sacrifice to keep Piff offensive here, and this is almost game over for Noble. One more push from Plot Twist, one more Chaos Bolt could be the difference that ends this one.
Yeah, but Juice, that was a very preemptive hand of sacrifice, and now he doesn't have any available for quite some time. I mean, he does have his trinket in his bubble, but maybe Noble can overwhelm with just pressure. Jamili charging in, full blind over actually onto Aqua, so Roasties is trying to slow down that damage and allow his team to push one final moment, but you can see Juice in such a good spot, so far away from everyone on Noble. He's able to get out the heals that he needs. Wings drop as well. Astral Shift can be committed. Gorecki down to 10% HP. Aqua trying to finish him off as he is caught in the middle of the map. Piff connecting the Lava Burst after Lava Burst, and I think Noble has finally run out of time.
Yeah, they don't need Cheerios. They swap him out, but it's Chip Chip Cheerio to Gorecki, and that one is Noble dropping their worst.
There's a really smart play from Aqua there, switching his target over to Gorecki in a situation like that. And of course, the fear pathing is Gorecki really, really hates that fear path because he got feared into the corner like that.
To win, but Plot Twist just win. You're confusing me here, Rich, but we are in game 4. Dalaran Sua's Noble 2-1 up against Plot Twist. And Rub Cub also comes in. That's the other thing we should definitely note. The team captain coming in. He's had enough of this. He wants to see an end to the Plot Twist. He wants Noble to advance in the tournament.
Yeah, this is a very scary composition. Noble's going to have so much crowd control at their disposal. They also have Rub Cub playing that melee wing specialization, that Avenging Crusader, allowing him to help out his team, put in that additional damage that maybe the Fire Mage is lacking, but they definitely have solid control. So I'm kind of curious to see who they decide to open up with. It looks like they want to put some crowd control out onto the DPS and look to get some damage rolling out onto Juice right away. Roasties, though, getting controlled up quite nicely, actually trying to kill off the Imp. You can see there that Aqua's going to be playing that Imp specialization, trying to dispel some of those crowd controls. Rosie's actually bleeding it up. They're trying to take it down. You can see Rub Cub, look, he's just swinging his hammer, trying to get that pesky Imp down, but so far it's not going down.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like they're improvising around what Jamili's playing. He's playing the Fire Mage, so this counterspell suddenly not as useful. So instead they play the Imp for that dispel, but then you see Noble, of course, the Noble Act coming in, trying to kill off that pet so that there's no dispel to worry about. Juice using his trinket early on. We actually see a full stun, but that's immediately dispelled by that Imp, already paying dividends for Plot Twist, as Piff should be able to survive as cause of that.
Yeah, Blessing and Protection going to be going out onto that Vendetta, kind of standard play. Jamili getting bursted down a little bit. Nice Temporal Shield. Juice into the full polymorph now. Is Aqua going to be able to dispel? It doesn't look like it was actually a half poly, so got the full poly. Half poly's going to end, and now he's going to be completely fine. Piff, you know, taking a little bit of pressure, but with that lack of crowd control out onto Juice, it's going to be difficult for Noble to get the pressure that they need.
Yeah, I mean, even on the smaller map, definitely Noble not getting too much generated so far, but they have forced force the Trinket out, of course. They force the Avenging Wrath and the Blessing of Protection. So it's not too bad for them, even though they haven't really moved someone's health bar too much just yet. We see Rubcup, though, taking a fair bit of damage, caught up in those stuns. Now it's the Death Coil. Might have to trade out his Divine Shield. Should be able to survive, though. He does have his Avenging Crusader available. Just needs to get a couple of whacks with the hammer. Should be able to get some heals off here as he's using Aqua as his kill target. It's interesting, though, they're swapping the damage over onto Juice. He's been caught up very close to his team. They're swapping off Piff a little bit, but still struggling to get too much doing on the side of Noble.
Yeah, Hex over on a Rubcup. Jamili's still getting low, but the Temporal Shield should heal him up quite a bit. Chaos Bolt connects, though. Is it going to be the Cauterize or the Ice Block? Earthshock Stun's going to be coming in as well. Full Hodge over on a Rubcup. Nicely done. Good cross crowd control. Rosty's going to be trading out that Cloak of Shadows. He does have the Vendetta available. Kidney Shot over on a Piff with a full Polymorph finally secured onto Juice. That Piff able to, keep himself alive with some healing surges, and everyone from Noble is rotting down. They really need to buy a little bit more time for that Avenging Crusader. Ultimately, Rubcup will be trading out that bubble to keep his team alive, but that's a big victory for Plot Twist.
Yeah, it's a huge victory. They forced the Divine Shield, they forced the Divine Purpose, and now the Avenging Crusader comes out as well. After this, they'll have nothing, so it's really important that Rubcup's able to get something going with his team here, but once again, we see Aqua just able to port away, Piff as well, just sitting on the pillar, Juice unable to get crowd controlled as well as he slip and slides through into that Hammer of Justice. Full Polymorph to follow up. There's no Dispel from the Imp. You saw that already dispelled the Hammer of Justice, unfortunately. So he's able to sit onto his Trinket, though. He does have no Hand of Sacrifice available, looks like, just yet. So definitely a little bit brave, but now the trouble comes in. Rubcup caught up in the stun, doesn't have his Avenging Crusader, is going to struggle to keep his team alive here.
Yeah, Rosty's actually throwing out a defensive blind there out onto Aqua. You never want to be in that position as a rogue where you have to use that key CC as a defense, but opting to do that in the situation to keep himself alive, giving Rubcup just a little bit more time. You can see Juice actually ahead on the mana bar as well, so this comp is working very well for Plot Twist. I'm surprised to see Noble not trying to put more pressure onto Juice, just crowd controlling up the DPS and trying to take down Juice like they did in the first couple of games, but Piff finally going to be taking some significant burst. Kingsbane's going to be used. Vendetta also available for Roasties. Is he going to pull the trigger? Not yet. Dragon's Breath out onto Juice as he pops his wings. Big heal's going to be coming in from him, and Piff's going to be completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's really hard for Noble to pick and choose their target. I mean, they know this matchup inside and out, right? Oh! As I'm saying that, huge. That must have been Piff. Aqua got one Chaos Bolt, but it wasn't even the coolness. Piff just,
dude.
I mean, wow. Wow.
That is
looked down for 1 second.
That was a plot twist if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this composition is you just can randomly be dead.
It doesn't get better than this. Second series of the day, a team that has looked phenomenal throughout the year against a new team. The winner of this stays in the tournament, and the loser absolutely kaput.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategy Noble goes with in this game number 5. Are they going to try to outlast Plot Twist? I'm not sure if that's actually going to work out. Plot Twist has been looking good on this composition. Noble's going to have to try to figure something out. This Assassination Rogue, I'm not sure about it.
I mean, this is your classic David versus Goliath, right? I mean, you've got Noble on one side. They came second at the Spring Finals. Top roster here. Great known players. On the other side, you got Plot Twist, this team that have competed in the top 8 quite a few times, but they've kind of struggled to make a huge impact. But they're really making an impact on this series, bringing it back from 2-0 down to Game 5. And now it's the onus, honestly, is on Noble. What strategy are they going to implement? Are they going to tunnel down Aqua? Certainly looks like that's the strategy right now. I'd love to see them utilizing those hexes onto Piff to deny some of that damage. That's how I really think they could win this dampening strategy. Yeah,
that's going to be a Blessing of Protection out onto that Vendetta right away. Roasty's getting pressured down, but he should be okay. He has the Cloak of Shadows. He has the Vanish. Aqua's going to be spamming out some Fears, trying to look for that damage, but you can see Noble. They're just going to take a defensive position until some of those key defensives are gone. Aqua's actually going to be opting to use that Demon Soul as a big swap happens over on the Gorecki. He's actually already used his Trinket into the coil. He should be able to survive here. I don't think Plot Twist has too much follow-up damage, but that was a very scary moment.
Yeah, Plot Twist showing they know not only how to play defensively, but also how to play offensively. A great setup there, forcing a bunch of cooldowns out of Gorecki, who's still struggling to top himself over there on the other side of the map, of course. With the pet from Aqua, he can counterspell through the pillar or spell lock and really deny some of those heals coming out. But you can tell Gorecki playing a very efficient spec right now. He's just trying to keep his blue bar as high as possible. It's going to be something very interesting to see if they do win this dampening strategy just by shutting down Aqua.
Yeah, Piff looking for that damage. There's a full kidney shot over onto Aqua as well. Roasty's just trying to put out as much pressure as possible. And you can look at the positioning of both these teams. Jamili doesn't want to overextend himself. He doesn't want to allow Piff to keep him rotted down. He doesn't want Aqua to get any damage on him. Just trying to play as efficient as possible, like we kind of talked about. Piff now finally looking for some damage onto Gorecki. Gorecki also just playing so far away. There's not going to be a huge opportunity for them to drink, but the good thing for Noble is they have Roasties. He's able to get out that melee pressure. That's going to be another blessing of protection used out there for Juice. So the next Vendetta that Roasty throws out is going to be super effective because they don't have that immunity anymore. So maybe Noble, you know, just looking to stall out till they have that big Vendetta cooldown, and then they can try to get that pressure out, and eventually Plot Twist will run out of cooldowns.
Yeah, they're playing a patient game right now. You can see Roasties once again. He commits the Vendetta. Now he's sitting behind the pillar a little bit. Doesn't need to stand in line of sight of Aqua. They wait until those interrupts come back up.
Nice
Juicy
sap.
little sap on Juice. Presumably was trying to get a little drink there, getting cheeky, but Roasties denies it. Now pushing in aggressively onto Aqua, and he forces that huge shield wall cooldown. That's huge for the team because now there won't be the shield wall. There won't be either of the blessing protections, and this next Vendetta is up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, not a bad trade for that Vanish. Full blind over onto Juice now. He's just going to be sitting that. Aqua, you know, he's trying to kite away, but still so much pressure coming in. The positioning advantage is definitely in favor of Noble at this point. Kidney shot now onto Aqua. Still good pressure coming in. Juice, you know, his mana has actually surpassed Gorecki at this point, so not the worst position to be in. Nice little capstone coming in from Piff, but unfortunately gets dispelled immediately by Gorecki. Aqua still just tanking out all this Assassination rogue damage. Piff trying to cast out that Stormkeeper and create some pressure for his team. Gorecki once again getting targeted down by Piff there, but he's going to be leaping away before Juice can land that key Hammer of Justice.
Yeah, we can see the Vendetta now available. Here comes the kidney shot. Human racial from Aqua, but he doesn't really have so much kiting, playing that destruction specialization. He uses the double coil to try to deny some of that damage, peeling for himself just a little bit here. Actually counter-pressuring Roasties, who's dropping a little bit low, able to get the feints, just about survive, run around the villa. And honestly, that Vendetta, which we've been building up so much for Noble, ended up not achieving too much, but it is about the mana bar. Gorecki definitely a little bit higher on that blue bar. And if Juice, they can't get the offensive pressure, that's really the win condition for Noble if they can keep denying that.
Look at Juice, he's trying to go for the drink. Is he going to be able to get any? It doesn't look like he's able to. Jamili just charges in to keep him in combat, making sure he's not able to get that precious mana lead. Jamili takes a little bit of damage for that, but he's going to be just fine in this positioning. You can see these shamans all grouped up behind the pillar as Roasty's still trying to keep that pressure up onto Aqua. We're not in dampening yet, but it's going to get scarier for Juice with that Assassination rogue on his Warlock. You know, with the wound poison, it's become more and more difficult for him to actually heal through that damage. Juice once again looking for that drink. Jamili and Gorecki going to be charging in. They do not want to allow him to recover any of that mana.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the win condition for Noble, but I mean, credit to Plot Twist, despite the fact that their names are so liquid, Aqua and Juice, they've been playing very solid so far defensively, doing a great job mitigating those offensive cons from Noble, but that mana condition really is the one we have to, I mean, we're harping on about it quite a bit, but it really is what Noble are playing for. It's what we talked about in the pre-game as well. It's down to about 30% on that one. Of course, once that blue bar runs out, no more healing really coming out of the Holy Paladin. We see another Vendetta traded out here. No Hand of Sacrifice, but a shield wall instead from Aqua, and because of that, Noble just pull back, line of sight those chaos spots, and really deny anything from Plot Twist.
Ooh, now Juice is in trouble. Kidney shot committed onto him. Is he going to be able to survive? Big heals coming in as well. He's trying to line of sight. Earthshock Stun comes in. Is he going to get taken down? Gets out of line of sight in that positioning. That was the bubble coming in from him, so they are able to get that key defensive cooldown. Juice's mana is not looking good though. Look, you can see he's going down for a drink, but Roasties actually lands a sap on him. Now he's going to open up onto Aqua. This is going to put Juice so far behind. Do they have any follow-ups? He doesn't look like it. Jamili casts out the Ice Sphere. Big pressure onto Aqua, who does not have that precious shield wall to survive. Wing's going to be available for Juice as he trades out that defensive cooldown to keep his team alive, but that was nicely done by Noble, getting huge pressure and momentum, but Jamili getting bursted down lower and lower, surviving with that pillar as well as that Astral Shift.
That was a close call. A lot of procs coming in there from Piff, trying to do a repeat of what he did last time. And Juice actually, yeah, he's getting the benefit of that, able to sit down for about 50% mana there, so about 20% increase from where he was prior. Huge play for Plot Twist. That was a big swing in momentum for them, but still, they're struggling with this win condition. You can see in the middle of your screen, dampening 8% healing reduction right now for both the healers to deal with. Gorecki, of course, sitting in, put that Restoration Chain, and he needs to push in with Jamili to make sure they both have their wind shears available to deny incoming damage. damage. But once again, another Vendetta from Roasties. He's getting aggressive onto Aqua, trading out that shield wall once again on the Warlock. But as Dampening continues to stack, it's just going to get harder and harder to produce. He's already used half the mana he got from that drink.
Yeah, but Plot Twist can still find these moments of victory at any moment. You know, get that burst off on that Elemental Shaman and that Destro Warlock. Noble still has to play this very careful. Plot Twist is a very dangerous team. Wind Shear over onto Aqua. Juice, you know, maintaining his team's HP for now. Piff and Juice going to be retreating. Aqua caught in the middle of the map. Blessing of Freedom is going to be used onto him so he can escape. Double Chaos Bolt, or double Coil coming in as well. And now you can see Plot Twist has managed to get away, but everyone from Noble once again chasing in. There's a sap over on Juice, but it breaks. Unfortunately, that full sap broke, and now that CC's not going to be able to stick. Juice able to easily trinket out of that blind to keep his team aggressive. Once again, Noble, they get the cooldowns that they want, and then they're just going to sit at the pillar, they're going to line of sight and wait for some of those big offensive cooldowns like Vendetta to be available for those moments of opportunity.
Yeah, Roasties is just playing this game so flawlessly so far. I mean, he's able to push in when he needs to get those saps when Juice sits down for the drink. He's using his Vendettas very effectively on cooldown, getting a lot of damage and pressure out from those. But then he's not really exposing himself either. He's able to, of course, line of sight when he needs to. He has the Cloak of Shadows always available with that trinket to kind of mitigate any opportunities for Plot Twist to catch him off guard, so to speak. Jamili pushing him once again, denying the drink, but Juice able to sit down for a couple of ticks there, and that's huge as Dampening's really starting to stack up now.
Yeah, Aqua's getting lower and lower, though. He has the Unending Resolve. He definitely doesn't want to be trading it out with the wings available for Juice, so Juice just spamming out those Holy Lights, keeping his team alive. Dampening now at 20% HP. Vendetta going to be used. Aqua now trading that out on that cooldown. Just doesn't want to fall behind. It's so important in Dampening that you don't fall behind, because it's really important to recover those precious HP points. Juice once again going down for a drink. Is he going to be able to recover some of that mana? Looks like he's able to get a small sip, but nothing too crazy. Gorecki now a little bit behind on that mana lead. Kidney shot onto Aqua, though. Sacrifice going to be used by Juice, and now big pressure over on him. If they can connect any damage onto Juice, there's still a 20-second opportunity they have to take him down without that bubble, but it's just so dangerous to run into the line of sight of Piff. All that Elemental Shaman damage.
Yeah, it really is, and you can see that now. The Dampening starting to stack on both sides. 23% healing reduction for both these healers to contend with right now, and Jamili is feeling the brunt of that as well. Doesn't have the Astral Shift, gets caught up in the coil, needs to be careful here. Gorecki doesn't really have the tools to keep him alive if he does get caught up with some Chaos Spots right now, but they're able to deny that. Wind Shear's coming out onto Aqua. Roasties reconnecting, also denying the damage from this Destruction Warlock. Like we said, the main strategy for Noble. Juice once again almost out of juice in this game. He's trying to get behind the pillar, trying to get something going, but honestly they need to keep this pressure up because it's starting to look great for them. If they can keep Jamili and Roasties behind the pillar here, Juice is going to get a huge drink here, and that's what he's playing for.
Yeah, Roasties commits that Vanish as well to get that big Garrote out onto Aqua. Looks like they're trying to close out the game. Unending Resolve, Blessing of Protection, both going to be committed there onto that Vendetta of Roasties. So they want to keep Aqua alive so they can keep up this pressure. But Juice getting swapped to now. He doesn't really have too much available. Bubble maybe going to get traded out. Holy Light able to get cast out there by Juice. He keeps himself alive for now, but Aqua still rotting down. All this Elemental Shaman pressure coming in from Jamili. Roasties just line of sighting, looking for that re-stealth. Unfortunately not going to be able to get it. Just throwing out the Poison Knives to keep up that wound poison effect, so it makes it so difficult for Juice to actually get out these heals he needs to. Wing's going to be available. He trades it out, even though, you know, Noble's not there to really put out too much damage. He needs to be able to top up his team. There's a full kidney shot onto Juice. Roasties, you know, keeping up that pressure onto him. He gets Earthshock stun as well. This is such a scary time for Plot Twist.
It really is, but this could end up being quite a thorough finish. If Juice can get away once again without getting punished too hard, as you can see he's going for right now, theoretically, it's two casters attacking into one caster on the side of Noble. So if they can get that damage rolling, you see a good Infernal Stun coming out here. This could really be a close finish here. Roasties pushing in, though. You can see Gorecki, they identify, they're going for the throat. They have the Cloak of Shadows. They have the tools defensively to play offensively, and that's what they're going for. But Juice still has that Divine Shield as the ultimatum defensive cooldown to keep his team alive. It's getting really difficult for them. You can see Piff and Aqua constantly being line of sight. Aqua having absolutely no fun in this game right now. And I mean, Noble just pushing him for the kill.
Yeah, but like you said, Plot Twist, they have the bubble as well as that Hand of Sacrifice. That's basically immortality for Juice as well as one of those DPS. So they can hold on to those key defensives just a little bit longer, and they can force Noble to continue to chase them. Gorecki's falling further and further behind. Nice cap stun coming in. Chaos Bolt. Jamili getting lower and lower. Astral Shift's going to be used as well as that Spiraling Totem. I don't even think that's an overreaction. They need to do that at this point in the game, but Noble running out of defensives very quickly, and Plot Twist still has some of those key things that they need There's a full Hex coming out onto Aqua, but going to get dispelled very, very quickly by Piff. Roasty's now committing that Cloak of Shadows and that Banish. So now Roasty's such a good target. He's not going to have anything available. There is the full sap onto Juice. Aqua still taking most of this pressure. Stormkeeper going to be cast out by Jamili as he's looking to close out this game. Piff trades out the Astral Shift as well. This is such a scary moment for both teams.
It's really scary. It's getting so close, and because Roasty's used that Cloak of Shadow, he doesn't have the offensive tool. Meanwhile, Juice does have that ultimatum defensive. He has the Divine Shield into the Hand of Sacrifice, which he might have to use here to save Piff, but Roasty's caught in the middle of the map. He's so far away from his healer. If they can get a few casts onto him, he could easily go down here. Piff kiting away. Both teams struggling. Divine Seed coming out of Juice, though. He's got the big healing cooldown to keep his team alive here, but his blue bar is completely tapped on both sides, honestly. 43% healing reduction. I don't think we've seen this all season.
This is a ridiculous game. Aqua, you know, he can't get his HP recovered. Juice just has no mana. He's going down for a drink, but Jamili Gorecki want to stop that once again. That's been the theme of this game. And now Piff and Aqua in a good position. You know, it looks like Rosys doesn't want to play too aggressive without that Cloak of Shadows cooldown. Vendetta up in 3 seconds as well, but Plot Twist, they have all the tools they need to survive. There's a full Hodge over onto Gorecki as he gets caught into the sun. He trinkets out. He doesn't want to fall behind, just avoiding as much damage as possible at this time. 50% dampening almost in this game. Jamili casts out the Stormkeeper. Kidney Shot over onto Piff. Blessing of Sacrifice going to be traded out as Piff gates away as well. You can see Plot Twist there just trying to create this space, trying to create a little bit of opportunity for them. Roasties has a Cloak of Shadow. He's all over Aqua at this point in the game. Juice, you know, recovered a little bit of mana, and Roasties uses that Cloak of Shadow, so that's pretty good for Plot Twist, honestly. Now Roasties is going to have such a difficult decision to make if he actually wants to push in.
I mean, we said this would be a long one, and no one wants to make the mistake now. This is game 5. This is elimination. Whoever loses this team will be knocked out of the competition. Noble versus Plot Twist at 50% healing reduction now. Neither team is doing any healing, essentially. You can see both the health bars down to about 70-60% on both sides, and Piff is the one taking the brunt of it. We see the Hand of Sacrifice from Juice keeping his Shaman alive, but they're swapping the damage over onto Aqua. He doesn't have anything left. He gets used as the shield wall, but he's not getting any damage once again. Roasties ports behind the pillar, does have that Cloak of Shadow on cooldown, so it could be a bit of trouble. Full stun. This could be it. Right down. 10%. He goes behind the pillar. I can't believe it. The defensive blind on Aqua. Both these teams are fighting for their tournament lives.
Yeah, Piff almost going down. Astral Shift going to be used. Juice using everything he can. Both teams struggling to survive in this situation. There's the Death Coil. Aqua looking for the damage, but that's the Kidney Shot. They are ultimately going to take Aqua down. Can Piff find the counter kill? Don't think he's going to be able to. You can see Noble. They're just going to be playing full defense at this point in the game. Noble playing it so incredibly patient, but you have to put your hats off for Plot Twist. They played that brilliantly, pulling away when they needed to, getting the key moments of burst off, and that was Noble's counter pick. So, I mean, honestly,
I mean,